Alright, this is Taka Karahashi, your acting con chair. It'll be a waste of everyone's time if we don't get the actual con Gripe going, but the unfortunate thing is we don't have the actual convention managers here. They seem to be busy or were not notified that they were required to attend con Gripe. So
let's complain about that.
Yes, I am assigning a task to the BOD secretary to have the record of the feedback made available to the respective convention managers so that they would receive feedback. So we cannot answer many of your questions. We will just have to be the punching bag to receive your feedback. And actually we have 3 board members and 1 interactive events. So we'll listen, and that might be the best kind of panelist. So please form an orderly queue somewhere with the wireless microphone so that the audience can hear your feedback as well. And oh, there it is.
I'm like, where's the
the microphone.
There's 2. I think, are you going to set up? He's going to set up the other one, yeah.
Let's get started because we only have an hour.
Anybody has anything they want to say on the mic? No, just kind of walk up.
Okay, orderly line, please.
Suck to get recording thing and get Robin up here.
I do.
Okay, well, I have a question about, or rather a complaint about our ability to get information changes during the con. Of course, every morning the info desk has an updated schedule, but you guys would make changes to the autograph schedule and things like that. You guys didn't have one unified schedule, and so we were looking at 2 or 3 different documents for autographs for cosplay gathering. But more importantly, as changes happened during the day, there was no notification of that. It would be helpful, since you guys have like a Twitter account, if we could have some like notifications of any sort of schedule changes go out over that in real time. I know it's not going to be big, but this moved from this location, this thing at 5 p.m. canceled, or something like that, just so we aren't waiting. And the other thing about that is the mobile site you guys are doing is, at least I'm having difficulty with it. I know that some other conventions have used applications like Guidebook successfully, and it's nice because if for some reason I'm in a room with like 800 of my closest friends and I can't get any internet connection, I can essentially have the schedule downloaded into an app, and that works better for me. So it's not, again, so much a question, but just like that would help me get information and roll with the information during the con. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Hi. I basically come here mostly for the concerts. I love the concerts. I love the fact that you guys finally did assign seating. The only weakness is that, just like most concerts, you guys really need to announce when concert tickets are going to go on sale at least 2 or 3 weeks in advance for fans of the people who are performing. It's really kind of hard to be a big fan of a group, and just because you weren't online at the exact moment that the concert tickets happened to go on sale, you really didn't get a good chance for a good seat. So if you could get 2 or 3 weeks in advance for when concert tickets go on sale and a set date so everybody can, prepare for that, it would be great.
Thank you very much, and I do appreciate that feedback as someone who loves concerts also.
Okay, the Steve Bloom autograph signing yesterday. What was with that? I waited in line for 4 hours before I got to see him. I was in line for 2 hours before he even showed up, and then, without any kind of explanation whatsoever, a bunch of people just got to la-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da right to the front of the line and get autographs for him, because apparently they handed out raffle tickets at his panel right before the signing, and there was no announcement that was going to happen. And I'd been at his panel the day before, and there was no word about any kind of raffle tickets to get his autograph before anyone else. So 2 hours waiting in line, another hour for those people to just go in front of everyone else. And I was pretty close to the front of the line. And then finally another hour to get through that part of the line I was in to get his autograph. So I think that that was just bogus, that there was no kind of announcement or explanation whatsoever. And I think that if there were 40 raffle tickets handed out, it should have been 20 for the first panel and 20 for the second panel, not 40 for just one.
Thank you very much.
With respect to what the first person said, I also know that the last minute schedule changes were a bit confusing. Now this year the lines were fairly okay, and the badge pickup was fairly okay, though I always think there's room for improvement with that. And as for the Hall G line, I think it would have also been a bit better if it wasn't outside.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah, I'd like to reiterate what this person just said, the first person. The schedule changes were kind of annoying. One thing I hated, in years past, we've always been able to get a printed copy of the updated programming. But this year they had these video screens, but there's only 2 of them. And if you're going to do that, it'd be nice if you have more of those, so I don't have to be running back and forth, say, between the dealer's room and the programming section to see what the program is going to be. I actually ended up missing the one thing I came here to see, which was the Eureka 7, which was supposed to be the first day that they moved it. And I come back the next day and they'd already shown it. It'd be nice. And I understand they have an application for an iPhone, but keep in mind all of us don't have an iPhone yet. So, you know, it'd be nice if we were in the past hand out a printed copy of the revised program. That was always very useful. And I understand you're trying to be environmentally conscious and everything, and that's all good, but you know, at the same time, I like to be able to be up to date on what's happening there. One other thing, this is actually just a suggestion. I noticed we didn't have the model building workshop this year. It'd be nice if you could get that back for next year's time.
Okay, thank you. Did you have?
I don't have a mic.
Oh, come here, just share this one.
Your mic is on. Your mic is on.
Hello everyone, my name is Gripe. I'm the Division Manager for Interactive Events. And I wanted to respond to what you were saying there. We'll definitely work on the model workshop. That's something that I'd like to see as well. As far as updating our scheduling and reporting scheduling changes to everyone, would more than 2 screens be something that would be helpful? Maybe like, you know, something like airport style, maybe, where we had some monitors positioned around the convention, so it'd be very easy for everyone to be walking around and see that. Okay.
You should have we had one right in the middle where the video rooms, we had this big one. You should also have a couple over by the dealer's room, where it may be actually in there also, so while I'm shopping, I can take a look and see what's going on.
Okay, we'll discuss that and we'll take that under consideration for next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, first off, I want to thank you guys for doing the panel. Reiterating what someone said earlier about getting the lines for badges, my particular group was here at 4 in the morning to get in line for general passes. Took us about 9 hours, or no, 10 hours because it was 4 to 3 p.m. What I would hope for something in the future would be someone to get the passes without waiting in line. So maybe something like a mail service or put it home, although I'm sure that counterfeits would be a problem with one of those. But I'd be more than willing to pay for like for the postage for getting a badge shipped to me and even a printing fee or whatever. But I would do anything just to not be in the line. That's about it.
Thank you.
Hi, 2 really quick questions. Why was opening ceremony moved to day 0? And second question, on programming guide, there's no description for what the actual panels, some of the fan panels were about. There were information on who was running and what time, but nothing on what the panel was actually about.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Can you repeat your first question, just because I'm writing on this now?
Why was opening ceremony moved to day 0?
Oh, that's actually easier on our Japanese guests, because having the opening ceremony was a red carpet on day 1, early in the morning. It can be very difficult, and And I know that was one of the reasons. Does anyone know any other reason of that? But they were much more energetic and refreshed and able to do it at that time, and it worked out well. So, and then for programming, you had
The second one was
the panel description.
Yeah, the description.
Okay, thank you.
One of my main complaints was the scavenger hunt on day 1. That was in the morning, like I think at 10. It was impossible. I don't know if it's some kind of awful running joke through the entirety of Anime Expo and the whole time they've had this scavenger hunt, but there were things on the list like you had to get a model Gundam, but the dealer room wasn't open till noon. There was no way you couldn't get a picture of that or anything. Also, you had to find all this stuff in like 20 minutes. There was no way we could navigate from West Hall all the way to the South Lobby alone in 20 minutes. And by the time we ran back in time because they said be back at 10:50. Tried to get back from the room, they said, oh no, you can't come in, it's over. Even though we were there on time. It was giant and it made me very angry.
Okay.
Nobody won either, too, but I don't blame them for not winning at all. Nobody did.
Okay.
So yeah.
Which we actually had 2 scavenger hunts, I think.
This was the one on.
It was the one on Friday.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Your name?
Megan.
Megan. My name is Ray, Director of Operations. I was aware of this. It's under the entertainment side. Tandy actually came up to me. It's in my notes to talk to the division manager about this incident because I was actually at May Cafe and one of the scavenger hunt was to take a picture of May Cafe signage. They couldn't. And I told them I would just take a picture of the room number and then I'm going to talk to, after convention, talk to whoever's doing that program to make sure that they are aware of the programming hours for such thing as May Cafe or the tea party.
Yeah,
or
it was very unprofessionally run.
Very, and I agree with you on that one. Because I encountered it myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I actually have several, so I do apologize, so buckle up, get ready for this one. The first one is the 0-day lines. I was at the party with the gentleman who was speaking about it earlier. The big thing is is there a possibility to put awnings? Because the sun beating down on everybody was just incredibly awful. And I mean, awnings, are rentable and things like that. I know you guys have sponsors. Could that possibly be a suggestion for the future? Is awnings for the line for 0 day? The other one is the space between the lines. Okay? Those were like less than 3 feet. There are people of all shapes and sizes here, Not everyone can fit in that itty-bitty narrow thing for 10 solid hours. Sit down, still come back up, be told to stand up, sit down. If there's any way to make it a little bit wider, there was a lot of room towards the back, but you didn't want to lose your place in line. One of the other complaints I have is the cosplay repair room. I found it to be rather inadequate. There was super glue, completely dried up. There was not nearly enough supplies. I mean, if there's a possible way you could maybe expand it, because there's a lot of people with a lot of great costumes, and things tend to happen. And I think the last complaint I have is part of the program. They said there was dances. I have heard rumors all over the place that there's different types of dances or different themes of dances. I was so unsure about what was going on, I just kind of curled in a fetal position and cried for a while. So, if there's any way you guys could possibly specify if there is or if there isn't, or anything like that. What kind of dance? Yeah, what kind of dance? Because I heard there was a formal. I knew there was masquerade, but I heard there was a formal. I heard there was a different theme one. That's first I'd like to know.
That's address one point at a time. You address the line first and then we'll address this.
The line queuings, you're right, the lines are close together. We did that intentionally because of the sun. We wanted to keep people, I think it's louder. We wanted to keep people out of the sun for that reason because we didn't have the tarps out there. Go ahead.
Then you kind of did the exact opposite. Well, I'm sorry to say that.
To be more clear, the people who got here at like 3 or 4 in the morning got here at night, and when the sun finally came up,
It was beating down directly on
It was
us.
beating down on the people who were here the earliest. So the people who were in the very front of the line, all the way around the main hall over here.
One of the people in our group almost got heat stroke, actually.
Which was me.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was...
I would say just moving it like maybe 2 or 3 feet away from the
curb.
From the, not the curb, but the
Pillars.
overhang, I should say.
So more in the streets, there's no overhang above you? For
Yeah.
shelter? Okay.
Yeah, that's the main real thing. It was bad. I mean, the people who got here late got lucky. We only had maybe less than an hour.
After noon, it was a little better.
Yeah, after.
What time were you in line?
What time did we get in line?
Yeah.
We got in line at 4.
We got here at 4. There were people already. It was about
100 people.
There's about 100 people in the line for day 0 general pass getting up.
Oh, also, there's another complaint too about that. Okay, we were under the impression no one had told us that it was opening at 3 instead of noon.
No.
The website says 3.
Website program.
Okay, well then we didn't check. That's our bad. I do apologize for that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so have we addressed that point?
Yeah.
About the line? No, let's address the, are you done addressing the point? Right, let's address the dance.
Okay, let's talk about dance. The dance programming that we have this year is consistent with what we've done every year. I think that maybe there might have been some confusion about things that did not happen, that maybe people have attended in years past and maybe thought were going on. To put it clearly, we have one major dance event on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hours are generally the same. This year it was 10 till 2 a.m. There are themes in the programming, but they're not hard themes. It's sort of a suggestion of kind of the direction they want to take. But generally, it's the same kind of dance every night, similar kind of music and DJs.
Well, I had checked through because I was going through the schedule meticulously because bringing like 50, 60 cosplays for this thing, gotta get the theme. All I saw on the schedule, it just said AX Dance.
Number 1.
Number 1, or AX Dance number 2, and this is my first con. I have no idea what you guys do. I bet.
Those details were not present in the printed program, that is correct. However,
Maybe they should be.
Understood. They were available on the website.
Well, not everyone has full access at all times. I mean, you need to have something hard. I mean, saying that you have an app on a smartphone, not everyone has these type of things. You need to think of the general populace.
Please understand what I'm saying is that generally the dance every night is the same. It's not that different from one to the other, and we're not setting people up to show up in the wrong outfit or something like that.
Right, and I'll just take it back on that. And in the future we'll improve on the communication. The program guide schedule cannot change because it's hard copy printed. However, we're recommending our IT department and entertainment department to add a couple more projectors in the West Hall where the scrolling projector, the scheduling, so it's updated more often throughout the day.
We've actually increased that from last year too. Last year we only had 2 projectors doing the program schedule. If you guys see on the 400 series, there's the TVs that are doing it. So we're adding more and more communication as we go on to improve what you guys need to know.
Because I'm not very techy, just to let you know, and you tell me to check program guides on here, it's impossible. I need to see something visual.
I have an older phone than you. Mine's a remote.
There you go.
Hi, I wrote mine down. I'm remembering about the registration line. I was like, I'm not gonna show up until 10, just like, 7 or 8 and the sun is down. I'm like, I'm not going out there, it's hot. Well, I didn't show up for that, so I got mine. Another thing, the swag bag made me very sad. There was nothing in it.
It was a bag.
It was a bag.
It was like an ad bag.
The bag was the swag.
There wasn't even a program guide in there?
Just a program guide, so a sheet of paper.
Oh.
Okay, typically our swag bags are sponsors that gives us materials to put into the bag. This year, there's just ones that need swag in that bag, except the program guides and a couple inserts. However, I know our SR, I believe it's our SR department, we have a lot of, for example, I can't remember if it was Bandai or Viz actually donated boxes. I'm talking about 30 to 50 boxes. They're actually giving away those T-shirts today. Now they're not updated T-shirts, but they said you would want to put that in a swag bag. I'm like, I don't want to put that in a swag bag. I'd rather have that giveaway. I'd put it in the cons to our attendees. So unfortunately, the sponsor did not sponsor due to, I don't know to do what reason, maybe it's like economic reasons, that their company doesn't have that marketing dollar to spend this year. But we'll definitely have our marketing team, we'll note that and have a marketing team work harder on sponsorships next year.
The other one is the video programming. There was only like pretty much 4 rooms for anime and only, and I never saw any like full-length feature films. Like, you know, usually they have, you know, like Spirited Away or something like that, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't answer that question because that's entertainment and.
I do actually have sort of a general question. I'd like to know your opinion.
Okay.
Would you prefer larger video rooms and less content, or smaller video rooms with like a diverse array of content?
Usually I go to either ones when they're available, like, oh, that would be cool to see, or sometimes I like want to see an older movie. Like I remember last year they had the Haruhi, like 3-hour movie that was like the midnight showing practically. That was really cool. Although I'm not complaining about the way they seat the people. I'm like 5 foot tall, so good luck to me.
Maybe everyone can just kind of give me sort of a response on this in general. Would you rather see, I know part of the experience of seeing something at a convention is being with a lot of people, you know, enjoying it in a group. So we kind of have to compromise, but would you rather see those larger rooms broken down into smaller rooms so we can offer a diverse array of programming and have movies and TV shows and stuff like that? Or would you like to just kind of see a balance, kind of like what we've had before? If you'd like to see more smaller rooms with more content, give me some applause. And if you prefer kind of the way it is, where we have kind of some small rooms and then some large rooms that are like showcase rooms, give me some applause. Thank you for your input.
What about mixing the two?
Yeah, that's certainly, it's kind of where it is now. And so I was kind of curious if pushing in the direction of going for more smaller rooms, but more content would maybe be something that would appeal to people. And it looks to me like, based on the applause, that is something that people are favoring, but you know, just by a hair. So it's something that we'll discuss.
Last one is about the weapons policy. Can I talk about that here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've had there's staff that are telling me this. I'm not going to say their names. That they have these epic weapon, you know, props. And they have like a little piece of Nerf in them, and they cannot be peace bonded, even though the Nerf gun is totally gone. Like you can put a Nerf logo, and they will not peace bond it.
Could you explain that again?
Yeah, it's really weird. Like they would have like a half a Nerf gun, like you know they would just take parts of the Nerf gun, and they would not peace bond it.
Any weapon of nature that has been.
I think a particular case was one of a Yoka gun.
The policy states that any weapon that has had a projectile come out of it at one point, either through water, cannot be conventional.
Actually, water guns are allowed, but they have to have nothing in them.
Yeah. You're right. But projectile-wise Nerf, BB, anything like that, it can be converted into something else as well. So nothing that projects out from anybody gets hurt.
Yeah, and there's also the weight problem where like the weight problem where like people are like have like 50-pound cosplay, you're not allowed to have a 20-pound gun. It's like,
Yeah, we are making modifications
Yeah, I think
to the weapon policy. You know, I can see when my manager from ConOp sitting right here in the audience. He has made really good recommendations that our council has actually reviewed. We need to implement it because it was submitted too late to actually implement it to the program guide.
Yeah.
We'll revisit that because I know there's a new policy set for weapon policy.
Because I'm like, you know, things are changing, cosplay is always changing, and that has to be updated often, I think. So.
Right. Thank you.
And on that point, I think that they should also allow the staffers to have discretion when doing that in the planning policies.
Okay, guys. We started late. I apologize for that, but we still have to end at the exact time, and we have 30 minutes left. And so, if you want to be fair to everyone, please keep your feedback
as short as possible so that everyone has a chance to say. And if you're willing to hug the mic, if you get a tap from the back, on your shoulder from the person in the back, you're speaking too long, so please be courteous. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to quickly echo that deal with the descriptions of the events and panels. So this is my first time to Anime Expo, so I don't know, can't compare it to previous ones, but I've been to the ones in Denver and Utah, and they always give like 2 or 3 descriptions of that, which sometimes helps sell the panel, which makes it more interesting. So.
Okay, 2 quick things. The first thing is the Nobuhiko Okamoto panel. I don't know what went wrong with the line, but the line was incredibly long and it extended into different rooms, and the panel started about 15 minutes late, and so by the time he was on stage and sat down, he had no time to do whatever presentation he had, I'm sure he had planned to do. It went right into Q&A, so I don't know what went wrong with that line, but you know, if that could not be duplicated next year for any of the guests, that would be great. My second thing is not really a complaint, it's something that I don't know if you're aware of this, so I want to bring this to your attention. On the first day, Friday, before the exhibit hall opened, I was on the 3rd floor looking down on the South Hall lobby area, you know, before people were allowed upstairs to go into the exhibit hall. And it was just an absolute sea of people. There was no space. It was solid people, that entire lower lobby floor, you know, before you go up the 2 escalators to get into the exhibit hall on the 2nd floor. And it was really scary to look at from the 3rd floor. I have pictures to show you if you want to see them, because I understand that it started, you know, I don't know why the exhibit hall wasn't open for the first half hour. I know the opening was delayed half an hour, and I heard something about the fire marshal or something, that was it. But it doesn't matter, whatever the reason is, it was terrifying to look at. If one person had tripped when the line finally started to move up the escalators, you could have had people trampled. It was really scary to look at. And you know, I don't know anything about crowd control or conventions or how to set it up so that that doesn't happen. My suggestion would be to like walk on 2 sides and have it go out, you know, outside, have it kind of like a huge section that is ribboned off and the end of the line going outdoors, to leave open space on either side of the crowd. So if somebody trips or something happens, there's empty spaces on either side for people to run to in case there was nowhere to run if somebody had tripped. So just wanted to say that.
Hi there. I'm actually a member of the press. And speaking of the same general area that our last speaker was mentioning, that South Hall kind of area, the access to the press lounge was very sporadic. There's that kind of balcony-ish hallway that kind of looks over the South Hall, and that's where kind of some of the meeting rooms are, and they had a 21 and up lounge. There was a whole section of that hallway that, from this area of the convention center, you could not walk from the level that you were coming from. You know, if you were over here at the meeting rooms or the panel areas, you couldn't walk because it was just closed off. And the event staff couldn't give us a good reason why. They were just like, sorry, we don't care that you're press and that you're going 20 yards in this direction to get to the press lounge. You're not allowed. Sorry, go away. I can understand not wanting fans to congregate in certain areas, staff areas, areas that the fire marshal deems you can only have X number of people in. But it was difficult to get to the press lounge, especially because there was only one way to get to it. There was an up escalator on the very far side of the South Hall, and if you didn't want to work your way through that massive exhibit hall crowd, you were in for a lot of walking. And I did have some disabled associates with me, and it made it very, very, very difficult. And so I just wanted to comment that if you're going to close off certain areas of the convention because the convention center has asked you to, or fire marshal reasons, or something along those lines, make sure that your event staff has properly communicated why that is, because it sucks being told, you can't go this way and I can't tell you why. So,
thank you.
that's
That's
my
a very
2
good
cents.
point. We'll put more signage on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll keep mine really quick. I've been attending Anime Expo for the past 12 or so years, and I have something about, I had an issue with scheduling my panel of programming. At first, it was outright denied. It was a Sailor Moon panel, And of course, the ribbon has a lot to do with anime, but however, on the programming, there were quite a few handful of panels that had nothing to do with anime. My Little Pony, Homestuck, this is Anime Expo, not Pony Con. And I even had other friends and other associates who had their panels denied. There was a Psychology of Evangelion panel, a Toku Super Sentai panel that got outright denied and in favor for content that wasn't related to anime. So that's something I want to bring up. And the elephant in the room that I want to bring up is I really disagreed with Jessica Nigri as guest of honor, even though she wasn't able to make it. Anime Expo is better than this, and if you need suggestions for other cosplay guests of honor who have actually contributed more to the cosplay community and to the costume community as a whole, I would be more than happy to discuss this further with you at the SPJ office because I know where you live. I'm in Orange County, so yeah. Thank you for your time.
One moment. I'd like to talk about the panel issue because I kind of understand what the woman was saying, but what I want to say is that we don't see any problem with a My Little Pony panel. I think that our fans have a lot of broad interest, and we respect that. I think there's room for everything. But at the same time, of course, the core of those panels should be anime programming, like a Sailor Moon panel, for example. And we're going to be looking into the process by which the panels were approved this year, and we'll make sure that for next time, that, and I heard instances where panels that last year were fine, that were not accepted this year. There's certainly no concerted effort to turn away the loyal part of our crowd. And I apologize for what you went through, and I want you to know that we're definitely going to be examining the application process, make sure that it wasn't maybe a technical issue as far as how people were viewing things, because we do get a lot of panel applications. And if we need to have more people reviewing those to make sure that we get everybody in there, we're certainly going to do that. This is an important part of the convention. It's where our attendees get to offer content, basically. They get to offer what they like, and it makes our convention better. So again, I apologize for that, and we'll be looking into that for next year. Thank you.
I had a more lighthearted suggestion to relieve the line stress on day 0. In case you guys didn't know, there was a bunch of food trucks that were down the street in a parking lot, and I think those were like awesome. What I would probably suggest is tipping them off that there's going to be a giant amount of people at this area, because I know there was at least one food truck at the line on day 0. So more food trucks.
We'll make that suggestion. We have a post-con LACC meeting. Those food trucks are actually coordinated through Airmark, which is through LACC. So we'll make that suggestion. Thank you.
Most of the gripes have been location-based, mostly against the LA area and Los Angeles Convention Center. Obviously, it sucks when we're going to get to go back to Anaheim.
I'm sorry, what?
Most of the gripes have been location-based. They've all been based off of LA and Los Angeles Convention Center in general. Obviously, it doesn't do it for us. When are we going to get back? When are we going to get to go back to Anaheim?
Oh, got it.
And the last gripe is the ticketing process. We've been ticketing since 2001. When are we going to get it right?
The ticketing. Oh, yeah. Your thing is a ticketing issue.
Yeah, the ticketing itself is another gripe. We've been doing tickets since 2001.
Yeah.
We've yet to actually perfect this process.
We'll take that note down and convey to that person that's in charge. I'm sorry I don't have any info on that ticketing.
All right. Hi, yes. I wanted to talk to you guys about some rather serious price issues that occurred this year. I understand that there is a lot of different parties involved this year as opposed to just SPJA. However, in talking with other people in our experience as a press outlet, we really didn't find out any information about what was going on for the press conference or press junket. The fact that there was not going to be a press junket, it was going to be press conference only. The fact that it was going to be 2 days of press conferences bleeding into the actual convention time, day 1, until about a week and a half in advance. Any emails sent to press@SBJA were summarily just not responded to. This was also confirmed by several other press outlets. We had people talking to us about the fact that when they showed up, assuming that they would be pressed again, that they had been in the past, to find out only upon arriving that they were denied. They didn't actually receive that mail. Also, when at the press conference, because of a lot of these issues, I think, and because of people really, I mean, even for us, I think it almost kind of, as much as we're big fans of this convention, the guests you had and whatnot, it kind of almost instilled a bit of apathy in us to that, the fact that, I don't know if this is the exact reason, but there was probably a maximum of 20 people at any given time at any press conference for these major Japanese guests, which I'm sure was very disappointing to the guests themselves and to their management. So, you know, I'm not totally sure what all is going on. I know that, like I said, there's a different PR firm that was handling it this year, but it was very, very difficult for all of us, and it was just a very disappointing experience. One of the last notes, and I'll pass the mic on, is that just getting into some things to actually cover them, you know, like I wanted to just basically go down and give some coverage to what was going on in the dance, and I spoke to a gentleman there. I was turned away by the name of Andre that said he was managing it. He said that basically the LACC was turning people away, the press, including someone from Channel 7. So I want to see personally that, and I don't come to necessarily just brag about these things or try to embarrass you, but basically the thing about it is I would like to see you guys be able to get the best coverage possible. And I think that just basically wasn't able to happen.
One thing I was really curious about is I remember previous years, you've had a lot more late night programming. Like you had video rooms that would go all the way through the entire night. Also, I was really happy to have the 21 and up lounge. That was great. That was seriously amazing. But I think, I don't know, there was a guy yesterday that was harassing one of my friends who was really drunk. And he was down like in the kind of waiting area by concourse. I don't know if he came from the lounge or if he just walked in, but I think it would be nice to kind of have a little more security to make sure really rampant, angry, drunk people don't come out of there. But another thing I was really curious about, are we going to see more mature programming, 18 and up programming next year? That'd be great, because I went to the hentai panel last night, it was hilarious, but it got cut short 20 minutes because of programming issues. And it made me really sad, because it was really great.
I'm the bicycle fairy.
We'll definitely pass it along. Yeah.
I won the red and black pass for the past 2 years, and I had a lot of trouble with getting a hold of someone who would take control of taking care of the winner of the red and black pass. Now, the people who are on the lower levels who have gotten my badges and my tickets to my events and the actual access to the hotels, they've all been great. They're out with my winning good looks and my persistence. I was able to get these things pretty well, and they were really helpful. Tony and Gigi this year were really good getting my stuff. But when it comes to getting the other things that were supposed to be part of the prize, the people who are higher up just completely ignored me or just wouldn't talk to me. As last year when I went on eBay, the person in charge of that did not answer the eBay summons for 2 weeks. And they were complaining, is like, where's the auctioneer? Why aren't they picking up their money? And so for that long, it's real frustrating that I've had to be real persistent to stuff that everyone at that much.
Now, I'm probably in the minority about this, but have you seen the program's cover? I noticed that it has 2 women on it, and they're very close together in a very risque way. Now, I know I am male, but I'm also a feminist, so it goes without saying for me to say that it is probably a little exploitative when it comes to what audience are we trying to attract to Anime Expo. In my opinion, I think that that at least the cover should be a little more gender neutral. Thank you.
I don't know, I think the similar thing on that would be like, if there's kids here, and maybe not have something so risque.
I guess the first concern I had was the dance. I didn't know if you guys were out there, but that line was dramatically huge trying just to get in. I don't know what Anime Expo is doing, trying to like, but hopefully maybe we can just find a bigger room in the convention center so people don't have to wait that long, because people were waiting like an hour, hour and a half. I waited for like at least for 2 hours trying to get in before I was like, don't even try again tomorrow. And there were some people who were out there like super ready to go like early. So I would just try to say, can possibly the convention find another room that's big enough that almost all those people can get in? Because when people were trying to get back in after they left out for like maybe like a quick 5 minutes, they had to go all the way back into the line again. So that was also a huge concern. Second one is like, could we possibly find a way to not have other events scheduled when we're here? Can
you be more specific about what you're talking about?
Oh,
X Games.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying because it kind of like, due to that, it makes us trying to go around downtown Los Angeles a lot harder. And since we couldn't use Figueroa, basically since that whole road was cut off and a lot of the sidewalks were cut off, so we couldn't even use that way to get back to our hotel, since majority every hotel, if you're not staying back this way, is that way.
I don't think they have any control over that.
Yeah, it's no control, but just to be in the future, can we not have our event be like in consideration with other events, because that kind of like takes away from us, and it kind of like it makes it very hard for us to try to like navigate and trying to get around. So I would just say let's try to make sure that when we're having Anime Expo, let's make sure we don't have other events so like we get full maximum press coverage and everything along with it. So
I don't know, I kind of like that too.
I like it too, but
The thing is that the city of LA decides that, and we don't have any influence over that whatsoever. It's the city of LA that made those decisions and gave the permits out.
I just wanted to say that I think you guys have done a really good job. Everybody I talked to, just generally, if I needed directions or anything like that, they were very helpful. They didn't know an answer, they went to find an answer. So really, really good job on your volunteers. One thing, it's not a complaint, but something you guys might want to be aware of so that you can let the LACC know about it, is when we were eating lunch, and it may have been brought to your attention before, there was like a panhandler guy going around trying to sell watches to people who were sitting there eating. And I don't know if this got brought to your attention or not, but several times and throughout the day, he would walk by and just like kind of try to show you watches and stuff while you're sitting there eating at the table. I didn't see any security type people up and this was on the upper floor area outside the Anna Mart and a little Compass Cafe by the Starbucks and all of that. So you guys might just want to be aware of that so that you can keep an eye out or post a security guy to kind of walk that area.
Thanks for letting us know.
I'm just curious, gentleman with the hat and sunglasses, he asked if you guys moved back to Anaheim, you guys didn't really address that. Just wondering what's, I mean, I'm guessing, they don't really consider that Los Angeles isn't, since they, but I mean, if you could change or just what's up with the whole location.
What?
Thank you.
What did you just ask?
You're too big for Anaheim now. You cannot go back.
That's debatable, frankly.
There's a rumor, there's talk that the contract with LACC expires this year. So are we here next year or what?
Well, that's a valid question because it was made public knowledge back in 2007 that we were going to have a 5-year contract with the LACC, and this is year 5. Yeah, year 5. Which means future contracts are either signed or in negotiation, but not in a position that we can announce or disclose yet. So, but well,
I believe it said on. So I think there was some sort of thing that said that the convention is next year, starting on July 4th.
and I don't think they announced the location though.
Well, that's to be announced at closing ceremonies. That's traditional.
All right.
We have announcements that are made at closing ceremonies. Well, thank you everyone for coming and making your constructive feedback to us, and they'll be passed back to permanent departments and managers. There's a couple of minutes, not really left, but if anyone wants to have last word, this is your chance. Otherwise, but I see a hand.
Love you.
Oh, wait. I think one of the main concerns we all had was the shuttle service to getting to and from the con to our hotel. Some of us here had to wait like an hour to an hour and a half just to take one bus just to try to get back all the way to our hotels, because it was just ridiculous if you try walking and then think about you're walking in cosplay trying to, and due to the fact that some of the streets were closed off. You know, some people don't want to be walking around in the middle of the night, because I know it's LA, but it's also downtown LA, and you also have to be a little bit more careful than usual when you're here at con. So we just like it, like more shows will possibly be offered, so in a little bit at a faster pace, so like some people aren't standing out there in the middle of the night, don't know what to do. Some people are here until like 2:30 in the morning, and just like take a shuttle ride back to their hotel, and you know, people don't want to be out there feeling like, oh my God, happened, you know, we're kind of like a
Safety concerns, right.
That's a huge safety concern.
Do the buses run all night?
Yes.
Well, I would like to mention too that before that if you have any suggestions for Anime Expo and SPJA, we do have a convention operations, and basically they will be taking any suggestions all the way till the end of con. And of course, feel free to contact us if you could not give us your feedback for today. Thank you.
I don't want to degrade any of the staff, but I just want to let you know that when on day one during when the exhibition hall or the dealer's room was opening, I was looking for my friend's mom, and she told us certain parts were cut off, which was understandable because there was already a starting line for the dealer's hall. But when she was trying to come the other way around to the back of the line, some of the staff didn't know what was going on or what she was trying to ask, and we were speaking very clearly, but they still didn't know what was going on or where to tell us even to go. That I ended up getting lost with her and getting mauled by other people trying to get to the end of the line of the dealer's room.
Just to add to that really quick, basically when Exhibition Hall was opening on day one, there was very little communication that there was actually a line outside for it. I went right to the guy guarding the door, and he didn't even know there was a line. He said, hang out here, and when it opens, it opens. So there was very little communication that there was actually a huge line to get into the dealer's hall. So.
Yeah, and staff, I think 90%, no offense to staff, 90% are volunteers, but some of them don't even know what to tell us where to go, or at least try to ask who were even next to the dealer's room so that they could tell us where that line was. Because it got really confusing that I didn't know where I was going anymore.
I can see your concern. Better communication, better signage. Will definitely help.
Yeah, because I mean the line was outside, so nobody. If you just went up to the dealer's room, you didn't know there was a line. The security guys at the door didn't even really know there was a line.
Yeah, better communication, better signage would definitely help. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone for coming here and giving us your comments and suggestions, because it is important and we do care. And I have been frantically writing everything down, and we do care about your experience, and we are always trying to make your experience better. So thank you.
And thank you everyone for coming, and hope to see you again next year. This concludes Gripe, or was it convention feedback? I forget which, but okay, have a nice day. See you again next week. Madam Chair, happy for it. Thank you.